Hello everyone, welcome to episode 14. Again, I haven't got enough fingers to show you how many that is of the Lewis Cooper Experience podcast experience. Haven't done one of these for a while, and I hate when YouTube people start videos by saying I haven't done this for a while, but I've still been uploading. But I want to give a special shout out to Rick L from Australia for asking about the podcast, because I was planning on doing another one. And it's nice to know that people do take things from this. I really appreciate that. I wanted to talk about just two things today. I wanted to talk about a movie, an old movie, and not new but not old game. I don't really talk about games. I'm not a big gamer, but every now and then I get into games a little bit. But first of all, the movie. I want to talk about 48 Hours, which is a really, really old movie from 1982. That's before I was even born. Um, like significantly before. I just appeared as a 30-year-old man one day. Not that I'm 30 now, but Um, and it's an Eddie Murphy movie, and I watched it the other night. Watched it again because I've seen it before. Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, directed by Walter Hill. I mainly know Walter Hill for the Alien films because he was a producer on them and very much like the driving force for the Alien films initially. Like he never directed any of them, but also he was known for the Warriors, and he's got quite a good little filmography kind of thing. And I find this film really interesting. It's nice to see like an older sort of not really a comedy, but it's more of a drama with elements of that in it kind of thing. It's just nice to see an old kind of detective buddy movie where they don't quite get along. They butt heads a lot, and it's the main thing to me that stands out about it is Eddie Murphy, because I mean, like, I had to double check how old he was when they did this, and this was like his real breakout role. And he was, I think he was 21 when this came out, so he could only have been about 20, 21 when they were filming it. And his charisma and his like just star quality are just absolutely off the charts. Like, if you want to see Eddie Murphy at his very beginning, like this is when he was still doing Saturday Night Live and stuff like that. And after that, or during the sort of stand up success and that kind of thing. And it's amazing to me, like someone said to me not too long ago, that, and they're obviously a much younger person, said that they didn't know who Eddie Murphy was until Shrek, because obviously he was the voice of the donkey. And I had to sit down for a full minute because I was like, even when I was born, Eddie Murphy was a big star, but before I was born, he was like the biggest star in the world. Like, it was a huge deal. So for someone not to know that, because he did a lot of movies in the '90s that weren't so great, and his star kind of faded a bit because of that. And he's made a bit of a comeback in recent years, which I really like. But this is him at his peak. Like, I hold this above like Beverly Hills Cop, which is the thing that made him like mega famous sort of thing. But 48 Hours is really good. It's much more adult than Beverly Hills Cop. It's quite dated in some respects in terms of some of the language that's used. Because watching it now, Nick Nolte's character, I mean, it's hard to describe. He is being racist towards Eddie Murphy's character in a few incidents. Like, he uses certain words that I won't repeat that are just not pleasant to use, and they kind of make you go, "Oh, okay, he just said that." But I think his character is just generally like, he's not a bad guy. He's just generally kind of grumpy and ornery, and just like he just kind of it kind of comes full circle, and he's not being racist as such, but he just has a general dislike for anyone, so he'll say whatever horrible thing comes into his head. But they're really really good together as well. And Annette O'Toole is in it as well, very very young Annette O'Toole, which is nice to see. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's well worth a watch. A few other notable faces pop up: David Patrick Kelly, um, who was in the Warriors as well, and James Remar, who was also in the Warriors. They seem to pop up in a few Waterhill things, and Sonny Landham from Predator as well, which is quite cool to see him in other stuff. Um, and yeah, I just think it's a really, really good film. Also, Jonathan Banks pops up, who's now best known as every older cop or detective in a movie you ever see. But also, he's Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, which is definitely what he's best known for. But obviously, he's 40 years younger here, so he looks quite different. But yeah, I would recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime at the moment. The sequel's on there as well, which I've never actually watched because I've never heard anything good about it, and it is quite a while after the original one was made. But I may check it out at some point just out of curiosity, really. Like, I don't see how it can be bad in a sense, but obviously just not as good as the first one, kind of thing. But yeah, 48 Hours. That is my movie recommendation this week. So, second thing I wanted to talk about is PS4, Spider-Man, the game. And again, I'm not a big gamer. I'm the sort of person, I don't do online games. It's never been my thing. I did when I was younger, but whatever. Um, but I like games that have a good narrative and normally are based off the things that I like. And I wanted this for a while. I didn't get a PS4 until recently, and this was on my list of games. I wanted to play Batman Arkham Knight, a few others, and then this was on there. So I thought, you know, I can get this. I got the Game of the Year edition. It's all in like French and stuff though, so I don't know where this is from. But anyway, it's got some DLC and stuff like that. And I won't go into it too much because I don't think people really watch this channel to hear about games. But I'm a big Spider-Man guy. I really, really love the character of Spider-Man, and this game just looked. I mean, I like some of the Spider-Man games that have come before, but this game really looked like it nailed it. Like for me, the best one was the one on the PS1 many, many years ago, which I really liked. And one of the things I like most about that game is not only game-wise, mechanically speaking, have they got the movement and the feeling of controlling Spider-Man down perfectly. Like you can, when you get going, you can do all these different kind of movements and move through New York City, and you kind of it just feels just right. Like and it's really good how fast you can move, but how precise you can be as well, and the combat as well is just very similar to the Arkham games, where it's kind of a almost a two-button system at the most basic. It's counter and attack kind of thing, but then there's loads that you can add to it, and you can have different. You know, you can come up with your own sort of style kind of thing. But the story and the characters, a lot of it are taken from. I mean, it's its own kind of thing. Like it's its own universe. Like the costumes different, and there's multiple costumes. We'll get back to that in a second. But it kind of takes a lot of cues from those sort of the past sort of decade or so of the comics, like the Dan Slott run, which is one of my favourite runs in any comic history ever. Like Dan Slott is one of my absolute favourite writers, especially when it comes to Spider-Man. And it's so they shy away from some of the more well-known villains, which I really like. I like that Kingpin's in it, stuff like that, and but you expect. But Mr. Negative is the main villain, who again spoilers if you haven't played the game yet, but it doesn't matter. And he's one of the newer characters, so I like they've done that. I like they've had kind of the confidence to go with this sort of thing, and introduce a few other characters and stuff like that from some of the more recent comics, which I really like. For proper nerds like me, there's loads of stuff. Like there's things dotted around the city where you can take, you take photographs because you're Peter Parker, and there's like a little collectible thing there. There's little challenges and there's different enemy bases and stuff. But there's multitudes of costumes, most of which are a reference to some comic in the past or something like that. Like my favourite one was initially was the Spider Punk costume that's from the Spider Verse comics, and then now I'm a really big fan of the Iron Spider comics from the Iron Spider suit from the MCU movies, not the Iron Spider suit from the comics, which is slightly different but similar. And you even get the extra 4 legs or arms that come out as like a little bonus thing as well, which is really cool. But like I said, I'm not a big gamer, but I like a game that's got a good narrative because I like movies and comics. That's my thing. I'm all about the stories. Um, I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 80% through the story, I think. But most of it, you can just swing around New York, just doing stuff, and just I end up doing just random things. It's kind of like GTA, where you can find yourself just doing really odd, random things sometimes, and just kind of go, I'm still having a good time, even though I'm not really doing anything. But yeah, I think if you probably got it already because it's not a new game. But if you're a Spider-Man fan and you haven't, I would highly recommend it. So yeah, that is my game recommendation this week, which is quite new. I'm trying to grab it behind me without looking away from the camera, but I can't remember where I put it. But yeah, there it is, Spider-Man PS4. Ba-ba-ba. Enjoy. And one other thing I wanted to talk about. Normally I do a bit of news roundups. There's one specific thing. Is this Thursday, the 18th, is the release of the Snyder Cut of Justice League, which is something I've always kind of chalked up to being. I won't go into the whole thing about it. So if you don't know what it is, then just look it up. But just to save time, I'll skip ahead. But it's something I was mildly curious about, and I wasn't really that fussed if it ever got released or anything. But I will definitely watch it because it's a comic book movie, and I'll watch all of them. But yeah, so I'm quite looking forward to that. I was ready to pay full whack for it, to kind of like rent. Yeah, ready to pay full whack to rent it. But it looks like they've reached a deal with Sky where it's going to be on Sky and Now TV over here, which is I have Now TV, so that's great. But the running time is about 4 hours apparently, which is what they said from the start. And originally they talked about the idea of releasing it in installments, but it's going to be one 4 hour block, which I've no problem with. Like that's fine. If it was in the cinema, yes, that would be difficult. But I've watched The Irishman 3 times, and that's 3.5 hours, and that's absolutely fine. So not that I'm saying this is going to be anywhere near as good as The Irishman, but or even comparable. But I'm kind of looking forward to it out of a curiosity thing. So like I've already got it planned out where Thursday I'll watch it in the morning. I'll start it in the morning. I'll have a lunch break, and then I'll watch the second half in the afternoon, and then I'll get a review up pretty much straight away, hopefully, for Thursday evening. So I'll probably do kind of a non-spoiler and a spoiler thing in case people are deciding whether to watch it or whether they have watched it, even though it's another version of a movie we've already seen, but that's all pretty complicated. But yeah, but I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm curious more than anything, and plus in this day and age, it's just nice to get something new, especially something you don't have to pay a ridiculous amount for. So I'm quite annoyed at new movies coming out, which is really nice. Like, oh, I really want to see this movie. Now it's award season coming up, and some of these big movies are coming out, but they're like $15.99 for a rental, and I'm like, that is extortionate. But anyway, that's a whole other thing that I've been annoyed about for a couple of days. But yeah, Snyder Cut. Check back here on Thursday if you're interested. I will have a review of it up at some point in the evening, unless something goes wrong and the world ends before then, which hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, one of the piece of news just coming through. I just want to confirm, speaking of the Irishman, that Joe Pesci is still alive. So that's some good news to end on there. Joe Pesci, still alive. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know your thoughts on anything I've talked about down below. I really do appreciate it when people get in touch and let me know what they think. Like I said, it's just nice to know when people actually do take something from this kind of thing. But yeah, please leave a like. It really does help a lot. They tell me. That's just what people on YouTube say. I don't know. And yeah, please subscribe because I really like that and it makes me feel good about myself. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care and goodbye.